From Nairobi, Kenya, you're listening to the Kuza Podcast, brought to you by kuzaapp.com.
Welcome everyone, karibu sana to Kuza Podcast. It's been an amazing journey throughout the year and we appreciate your constant support. Conversation, motor loading, and leo tunataka tuongee mambo ya social media. What to or maybe what not to, or how is this thing helpful? Najua kila mtu hapo hivyo kuna ka smartphone hivi, kama bado kuna katululu, wewe tunakuombea by the way. But if you have a smartphone that you can go online, definitely you know Instagram and TikTok and Twitter and Facebook and all those things. These are things that affect us in one way or the other. Are they good? Are they bad? Well, that is the conversation we have on our table today. I have my gentleman here to carry this conversation. Nikona Justo, the one and only pastor. Tukona my yolo guy, Matt Elmo Mzungu Mwituna. Nikona pale mwenyewe, wakili wannabe. By the way, budi nafaa kuita wakili wannabe. Mwenyewe, the one and only Saddam Hussein. Yeah, well, na hope atuangusha. Unakuwa na sanamu. Unajua sanamu ya Saddam Hussein iliangushwa huko hivyo Iraq.
Bado hajichonga yangu.
Bado hajichonga. Sawa. Kama itachongwa tuambie. Tukuje tuweke hapo hivyo autograph. Anyway, so social media. Do you have a social media account? I'm pretty sure you do. Probably Twitter, Facebook and all those things. How much time do you spend on that thing? I'm pretty sure a lot. How many things have you found yourself doing in life that you've either seen as a challenge that is coming up with, whatever 3-day challenge on this or a dance move and all those things? There is definitely no way any of us can refuse that social media is a reality in our day-to-day. And also, how many things umeland kwa social media? Niko sure vitu mob kutandika kitanda. The other day I saw somebody doing a kid akikunja nguo in a very stylish way. Social media, my people, social media. E-conversation hatuwezi avoid. But ukweli ni we can use all these things for the glory of God or for our own distraction. And so this gentleman today wanataka kutueleza how do we use social media in a way that is meaningful and that is helpful. So people, tafadhali tusaidieni kwa hii conversation. I'm sure all of you have some accounts. In fact, let's start from here. Justo, do you have, how many social accounts do you have?
Maybe we should laugh
Facebook?
about how active
Wacha na active kwanza. Uko Facebook?
Niko Facebook.
Uko Instagram?
Niko Instagram.
Uko Twitter?
Niko Twitter.
WhatsApp? Tinder?
Yes.
Uko Tinder?
Siko Tinder, niko TikTok. Niko TikTok.
Uko TikTok. Uko gani ingine ukile dimension?
YouTube.
YouTube uko. Okay, sawa. All right. Matt, which ones are you? Facebook?
I got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and then I've got, what else I got?
WhatsApp.
YouTube, WhatsApp, yeah. So just the probably the major
TikTok.
ones.
Oh, the main ones.
TikTok.
Hauna hizi Americans wanakuanga nazo na si atujui. Wewe ni mzee. Wow. All right. Saddam, where are you?
Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter.
All right.
Instagram.
Okay.
SMS.
Wow.
ECC.
Yeah, clearly. Now, let's start this conversation from this. Now that sisi wote tuko mtandaoni na sisi wote tuko mambo ya social media. What are some ways that social media can be, counterproductive for us as individuals? Before we even talk about the pros of it, what are some cons? What are some things that we need to be mindful when we are looking at social media?
Number one, I think, is social media inafanya watu hawabongi.
Watu hawabongi.
Yeah, people think really they talk with each other when they chat.
Right.
Texts. But people miss having a one-on-one conversation. Interestingly, I went to eat somewhere. And then I presumably, I might not be right, there was a dude and a very beautiful lady.
Okay.
They looked like they were in a date.
But
both of them on their phones. So I was just imagining, this guy, can't he see this opportunity,
Adundisha vibes hapo. Maze changamka, cheza kama wewe, right?
Yeah, they were communicating. Maybe
alikuwa anachatiana kwa simu. It's so sad because now people really lose that, and it happens even at home. So people are glued on a screen somewhere. It might not be phone, but utapata mtoi ako na tablet, mother ako kwa TV, buda ako kwa phone. People are just on a screen somewhere, and they're chatting with people who are outside the house. Yeah, there's people inside the house.
Right.
And so we do not have the bond of a family. We do not have, people don't really know each other at home. And you see, God, when the Bible says that if you do not provide for those ones who are in your household, 1 Timothy chapters 5 verses 6, you are worse than an infidel. Chapter
5 verse 8.
5 verses 8. Yes, thank you, Matt. You are worse than an infidel.
Yes.
This doesn't necessarily mean providing money, housing, food, and all that. It also means attention. Emotionally being there.
Okay.
Like when you come home in the evening, sitting down with their kids and asking, how have you been? How was your day? Crack jokes with them. Be there, converse, like be part of their lives. It is one of the best antidote against depression and stress in general.
Right.
Just communicating and talking to someone, holding their hands, hugging, being there. That's what God created us to do for one another, companionship.
Okay.
And so social media takes away that.
Take it away.
So we think we are having conversation, yet we miss to have important conversation that you can have face to face.
Interesting.
And Vic, maybe from your first example, have you noticed this, that you're dating and then you can easily chat and communicate a lot via maybe WhatsApp?
Yeah, and then when you're together, you're not talking.
Uko too off.
Yeah. It should be the other way around, actually.
Amongei.
When
Ni dangerous,
guys are together.
Ni dangerous.
Yeah.
Ni dangerous. All right. Anything else that comes in as a con?
I think the other one is social media will again, because we don't have face-to-face conversations, we will be isolated. So there is this documentary I watched in Japan, and I think it can really apply to us. There are teenagers who basically don't have social life.
Okay.
In the sense that their life is on social media. They are in their rooms the whole time. They are chatting, they are texting, and they are gaming with people whom are all over the world.
Kila mahali.
But this guy cannot have a conversation with people.
Face to face.
So they're isolated in their rooms. They're isolated in their houses. And we have people like that today, even in our country. I know some who really, it takes them a lot to just say hi to a stranger or say hi back.
Right.
They don't get out of their house. And so when you're isolated, then that is a recipe of depression there. Mental health issues, they creep in very fast when you're isolated.
Okay.
God created us to be in a community.
Interesting.
Yeah. So he says we are one body. We are people, children of God. So we belong to each other.
Right.
Thirdly, social media has a way of reducing our self-esteem. Because self-esteem is usually reduced because we have the tendency of comparing ourselves with others.
Okay.
So you look at Instagram, you look at Mavo's Instagram, where umse akona masuti huko, you don't have one. This guy is taking photos with Lamborghini and everything. You're like, hey, Kenya kuna Lamborghini. And maybe the guy is for cropping stuff and photo.
Okay.
Those things.
Interesting. All right.
As an individual, be like, this is a guy I grew up with. This is my neighbor. Missy progressed in life and they are progressing.
Right.
And so those things will have a tendency of making you want what you cannot have.
All right.
And because you can't have it, you feel you're not worthy, you're not
you're not deserving
enough, you're not deserving. And so in such a way, again, it reduces your self-validation.
Okay, all right.
And you tend to have a validation based on what you see on social media rather than based on who you truly are in Christ.
Gentlemen, what else can we add on in these matters that social media na vile zina to cut through in a way that is not properly?
I think the other thing that I will mention, first of all, let me just mention this little story about myself.
Right.
When I joined campus, I used to have this kamli kamwizi. hiyo nilikuwa wakati wa Motorola si wa 19.
Ulienda kumulika waizi kwa Bible school.
And then I had these classmates of mine, my first time interacting with, you know, some wonderful big smartphones, my tablets.
Unashanga ni nini?
Yeah,
dunia gani?
then, you know, and that pressure to fit in, but enye mahali tu umetoka, you know, it speaks of itself.
Ulikuwa unazimulika tu. Unamulika tu ma smart gadgets.
Yes, Blanda ilikuwa one time tulikuwa kwa group discussion. Alafu simu ikapigwa. And that time the song that was singing in my phone, you know, it was a Kikuyu song. And the whole class went silent. It was group discussion.
Wimbo gani ya Kikuyu? Niko interested kujua hii wimbo gani ya Kikuyu.
I was explaining a point, and so I was not concentrating on my phone. And then the whole class goes silent, and then one lady close to me called Amy. She was like, "Justus, is that your phone ringing?" And I pick my phone, you know, and the whole class burst into laughter. One, because of the type of song. Number two, the type of the phone. Number two, the song, you know, the song was Hidaria Kinyaga Inyagato, you know, when that time comes.
Na unajua inatoka na kamidi. Unakumbuka kama midi tone kanapiga kelele. Wow.
Yeah,
interesting.
But I really thank God. I just had to encourage myself, of course, saying that, you know, God has given me the brains. When they need mathematics, I'm there. Wow. When they need this, whatever, I had just to find. I had to find a way to comfort myself in the Lord. Anyway, social media. One of the other challenge that I've seen is that you're likely to spend lots of time in it to a point that it affects even your sleeping hours. Yes, right. And when this affects, like, you know, the time you sleep, you wake up, you realize that spills over even to the other day, and which affects, for example, if you had some assignments or there was some work you're supposed to do, you realize that you are running short of time in terms of the other engagements you need to have.
Right.
And this in a big way really affects you, because you'll not be productive maybe at work. You know, you'll not be able to fulfill your responsibilities even if it's at school. And so this really has affected so many people. That I think it is important that we consider in terms of how we engage
with our gadgets.
Exactly.
I think when you don't have enough sleep as well, you become a bit edgy and you are irritable and all those things. Yes. And I honestly, sometimes nashindwa mtu ako na hasira kumbe alilala saa 9 akaamka saa 11. Nashindwa kwani mbona unanikasirikia kwa matatu, you know? Why uko na feelings nyingi asubuhi, you know? But as you're saying, maybe alikuwa hapo hivyo akiangalia TikTok akifanya vitu zile hazifai. Anything else mzungu mwitu, anything else that you
I think some of the negatives of social media is we've kind of mentioned a little bit, but people just put their best foot forward.
Right.
Like in the sense of you see guys like wearing their best dress and they're in their best place. One thing I'll say, I don't like these social media posts that you got a girl that's making like a kissy face and, you know, dressed very like, look at me. She's posing like this. She's like, you know, I rejoice in the glory of the Lord.
No, yeah.
Something like that.
Where is the glory? Glory, man.
Or she like just trying to be a Proverbs 31 woman.
What on earth?
There's like a facade, like it's fake. True. You know, you put on there, and I think, you know, we want to kind of put that on there, and also too, people really find their identity because we want people's approval, we want people's love, and so we'll put those images up there of the best things that's happened to us throughout the day. And I think social media can lead to lack of being inauthentic.
It's true, because people are living behind their filters.
Yeah, and another thing too I throw in is like, speaking of living behind the filters, like you're talking about. There's things that people say on social media that they would never say in front of someone's face.
Right.
Yeah.
Or they never even say publicly. But because they're behind the screen and they don't have anybody in front of them, they can just say whatever. I mean, Twitter, I think, is a perfect example of that. The Twitter community is really just a bunch of cyber bullies. Not everybody who's on there. Like, I'm on Twitter, right? But like a lot of people who post in there regularly just really say a lot of harsh things.
Right.
You know, that's just very, and I think social media has led to, because we don't have as much face-to-face contact, it leads now, I think, to having just worse and worse, thoughts, worse and worse. Kind of like we kind of get addicted to this outrage and want to react to every little thing that we say. We want to be the first, up there to be like trending.
Oh yeah.
And so we create this facade, and it creates cyberbullying, and I think it just creates this. This negative mentality sometimes.
That's crazy. And now that we are on that note of social media, and guess who else is on social media? KuzaApp.com. We're right there. And we're right there so that we can give you a differential range and engage you in a way that is meaningful. And your story, kama uko na phone yako hapo hivyo, tafadhali weka bundles zako on. Kama download, tafadhali download your app, check it out. Kuna devotions, kuna blogs, kuna podcasts, kuna soma videos, kuna uliza videos, vitu mob za kusaidia kugrow in your relationship with Jesus Christ. Kwa hivyo kama download your stuff, tafadhali kwa iOS store ama Android store. Kama uko na ile simu just kwa nayo ikiring kwa class, tafadhali usiende mahali popote. Wewe tulia. Visit us at www.kuzaapp.com. Pia check us out. There are many things, resources right there you can use even in your youth groups, in your churches. So definitely check us out. Now that tumesema hiyo story ya social media na sisi tuko hapo hivyo ndani, nataka tukuuliza, is there a way that social media then can be used in a meaningful, God glorifying way? In what ways can we go right there in those phones and use it in a way that glorifies God? And secondly, what are the possible changes and outcomes if we actually used this resource for the glory of God?
I think first of all, maybe to start, think in terms of developing your skills.
Okay.
I have this relative of mine ambaye aliachia shule form 2, and I'm not encouraging anybody to stop going to school at this point.
Tafadhali.
But this gentleman amejifunza, if it's about repairing phones, if it's about anything to do with just developing his skills about the website and such.
Right.
He has done a lot of learning from YouTube, which at this point, actually within from 2020 to now,
okay,
the guy is worth of $1 million.
2020 to now.
Yes.
Okay, that's 2.5
just
years.
very few years. And out of the social media, he has just learned these skills that he's using to make lots of money. From even the shooting videos, photos, editing, and partnering with some organizations without any academic papers. Actually, he cannot express himself in English. No. Ni ngumu. Lakini ukimpatia kazi yoyote, he will do amazing work. So I think it's one of those areas that we can perfect our skills, grow ourselves, listen to key individuals. Maybe if you want to grow in leadership, if you want to learn the things of the Bible more, we have all this content that will be able to shape us to be able to fulfill, that mandate that or whatever responsibilities we have while on earth. Yeah.
Right. Tuendelee kuchangia kwa haya
the gospel is easy to spread through social media a lot of ways. Like even us as Kuza, like for example, we have our Receive Christ videos on the website, and there's times, excuse me, that we'll take those videos and we'll put them on Facebook, and we'll send them, like we've done our Swahili one in Tanzania, and we had 20,000 clicks on that video. 20,000 people, I should say, not just clicks, but watched the entire of that video.
20,000.
And we had over 200,000 people that watched a segment of it.
Amazing.
And so we've done the same thing on the coast of Kenya with that Swahili video. And we had 12,000 people watch the whole of it. So, those are great opportunities for us to spread the gospel.
True.
In those sorts of ways. And, even us for, Kuza on our website, that Receive Christ button, we have more than we have almost 400 clicks now a month. People just clicking on that to see, what does this mean to receive Christ?
Right.
And we have several people that'll contact us every month that receive Christ. And so all these, I think, are positive elements of social media, and just being in touch with people, knowing what's going on, getting, news really fast. I think a lot of those things are really helpful and positive. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Saddam, anything you want to throw inside there? How can we use this amazing tool in a way that glorifies God? Yeah.
Use it to tell someone you haven't seen them that you should meet to see them. Social media, the brainchild of social media is socialization.
Right.
And so it is a place or a tool that we can use to socialize.
Interact.
It is not a place for socialization. When you are
it is a means
school,
to a certain end.
Letters,
right.
And you'll write to that girl in that school somewhere and tell her closing day, we meet at a particular place. And then you would meet and you would talk and you'd hang out with people. We had phones that had wires. And you call.
Yeah, you're ancient. Some people don't even know what that is.
You know,
booths.
Yeah. And so these things, we can use them so that we can meet, to call each other to meet and commune with one another in person. So we should even have habits of whenever we're meeting with people, put your phone on silent and forget
put your
about
gadgets
it.
Away.
Enjoy the moment with that person.
Just be there with people.
So social media is very good in that.
Right. All right. Let's continue exploring any other things that we can challenge our the guys who are tuning in to focus on, because tuliongea story ya depression. Watu kukaa peke yao, uko tu hapo kwa simu, uko peke yako, you know, wako na social anxieties, you know. And one, we are not saying ati social media ni mbaya, but we are saying kuna vitu tunafanya na social media ambazo zinafanya life yetu na kuwa mbaya. And so we really want to challenge those guys tuning in to at least appreciate that we have a tool in our hands that we can actually use for the glory of God. And I
think what I would say is that for me, it's just advice out there.
Yes.
That I think you really need to build in terms of your self-identity. Don't let the media or people there to define you.
Right.
Or you try to imitate people to be like them or such. You need to be very secure in your skin, to be very secure in your mind who you really are.
Right.
And this great identity and self-image, we are able to look ourselves from God's point of view rather than trying to, because they are individuals, even, you know, the image they have on themselves, not even about the social media thing, they just say themselves, they don't like who they are. So I think it is important getting to have our identity fully established in God, and also being cautious again, because one or the other will have to interact with all this, you know, content out there. Some is very diminishing. We'll keep interacting with this information out there, but I think when we are well formed and appreciate who we really are, we wouldn't let anything outside there define us. So I think to me, if you know you are struggling with low self-esteem, and you are trying to boost that with the social media, that is the wrong place.
That is the wrong place. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Justo. Any other more parting shots right here? Yeah,
some biblical principles I think are good to surround yourself with. One is in 1 Corinthians 6:12 says, all things are lawful for me, but I will not be enslaved by anything.
Right.
So the idea is everything more or less is okay for us as Christians except sin, right? And we don't want to be enslaved by those things.
Right.
And so I'll really challenge, guys, consider taking a fast from time to time, just so that you don't want to say, I'm not going to be enslaved by this.
Okay.
I don't want to be caught up in some of these things. I can do without my phone for a little while.
So like practically you can say, unajipatia challenge, maybe like say the next 2 days, I'll only use my phone 1 to 3 times, but I'll keep it away otherwise,
Or like even just say, like, for example, when I get home, I'm going to use my phone for like the next, let's say 20 minutes, and then I'm going to put it away. You can set a timer on your phone to do that. Or another thing, when I go to this place, when I meet these people, there's little challenges like that.
Okay.
Even something silly like when I go to the bathroom, I'm not going to look at my phone. Just as a way of saying, I'm not going to be enslaved.
Ukisema bathroom unamaanisha kuna watu wanaendanga
watu wanaingia bathroom bwana
kuoga na simu.
Ndio. Watu wanafanya like this.
Niambieni hizi ni stories za first world. Hizi ni stories za first world. Kama nyinyi mnafanya hizi mavitu manzejo.
Mavo definition ya bafu na bathroom.
Ni gani? Ndio mimi nataka kujua. Unajua bathroom inaweza kuwa ni kwenda mahali pa
kumaanisha ukinini.
Ukienda kucheza bake.
When you go to the toilet.
Ukienda kudenki. Mimi nafikiria ni bathroom ya kuoga. Hii yenyewe ni difference ya first world.
Inaweza na tub na hot tub.
I'll be honest, I listen to a podcast and I'm in the shower. I put it up in the corner there. I listen to a sermon.
Ukioga.
It's good.
Kwa hivyo sasa tukioga ni sawa, lakini tukidenki ni noma. Okay, ni sawa. Anyway, but we are listening to you, Matt. Continue.
Yeah. And also too, I think a lot of times we train ourselves like when I'm stressed or when I'm bored or something, like I want to find an escape. Right? Even our brains want what's called dopamine, something that makes you happy, right? There's like a chemical that goes in your brain that makes you happy. So I think Psalm 46 is a great, example of that. It says, God is our refuge and our strength, our very present help in trouble or in time of need. Therefore, we will not fear that the earth gives way, that the mountains be moved, and the hearts of the sea.
Right.
So the idea behind that is I need to find my strength and my escape in the Lord. Okay. Though things may be going crazy in my world, I'm stressed. Generally, I'll just go grab my phone and I just binge watch some TikTok videos or YouTube videos or whatever, just to, just kind of forget what's going on. I want to encourage guys, again, find your escape in the Lord. Find your rest in the Lord, not in social media, because ultimately God is the only one that satisfies. So this kind of goes back again to the first point of don't be enslaved by this, but instead find your strength in the Lord. So there's just some key, there's a lot more I could say about some of these things, but I think those are two really important ones.
Saddam?
I think check your concentration span. I did this to myself as a self-evaluation. I read an article that when you spend a lot of time on social media, it reduces your concentration span because they have designed videos to be very short.
Yeah, 1 minute, like 40 seconds.
30 seconds, 30 seconds. And then you find yourself watching this 30 seconds movie or whatever thing it is. You have watched a lot of them in an hour. So you have too much information. And so you can't even sit down and read a book for an hour. And so it is affecting your concentration span. So how then will you read your Bible, which is more taxing to read? How then will you concentrate in prayer? Because you'll find yourself, even while praying, your mind is going all over into these things that you're feeding yourself. So controlling your use of social media is in a way bringing glory to God.
Right.
Because now you'll find time for healthy practices, like working out, spending time with people, reading the Bible, reading books, listening to good music. It will help your concentration span, which in a way also help your spiritual life and also your physical life as well.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, where are you in this social media conversation? Now, we're basically saying there are definitely off things that this thing will bring in your life, but there are definitely, if you can use that word, on things that will make you alert, aware, richer, healthier, and it's a resource that we've been given in our hands. I think John Piper once said that one of the uses of Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all these other social websites that we have will be in the last day to prove to us that we never really lacked time to spend time with God in the Bible. And that's a crazy one. That will be proof that you are there on Facebook for 40 minutes. It's a proof that you did not have time to interact with your maker. If you're born again today, you want to receive that as a challenge. That one of the proofs at the last day, when you'll be asked if that's going to come, that why didn't you desire and dig deeper into a relationship with me? One of the things that will put you down is I was on Instagram, I was on Twitter, I was on Facebook, I was just doing all these things. And so we have a right opportunity today to turn around. If you have been there and you're caught up in all these craziness and your anxiety levels are growing because people are not liking your post, people are not following you and all those things, maybe you need to take a pause, take a chill and evaluate yourself. There is a lot more damage that is happening in your mind, in your heart, than you actually know. On the contrary, if you actually use this for the right reasons, you'll realize that there's a lot of opportunity to grow and to even become much more of the person that God wants you to be, more than what you are pushing yourself to become. People, asanteni sana kwa the conversations, we appreciate. And vile tumesema, ukitaka kupata kitu nzuri kwa social media, www.kuzaapp.com is the place to go. Check that out. If you're tuning in from wherever you are, Nairobi, Mombasa, Afghanistan, US, wherever it is that you're tuning in from, please make sure that your relationship with God is intact. And one of those ways to do it is to connect with kuzaapp.com. So tafadhali, tag along, leave us a message, leave us a comment, and that's going to be a good thing. Until next time, God bless you all. Muwe na wakati mwema. It's Kuza Podcast and mpaka baadaye.
Thank you for listening to the Kuza Podcast. Brought to you by kuzaapp.com, an online ministry with blogs, videos, podcasts, and a mobile app. Make sure to subscribe to get more content to help you grow spiritually.